Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We have a big day today. Jared is having surgery on his arm. As many of you know, back in December of 2019, Jared was in a really bad car accident. And so today he is going to be having the metal plate and screws removed from his arm. We are going to take you along for that journey, and along with that, we're going to kind of recap his accident and give you guys some information.
Okay, hey guys, so like I said, we're going to talk about my surgery today. It was December the 5th when I got in my car wreck, and December 5th actually started out as just any regular day for me. I was on my way to work and was coming through the countryside here, and basically I come up this little back road every single day and come up through here and come around this curve. And as I come around this curve, it was very slick that morning. It was December, of course, so it was very slick that morning. And so we're not sure, but I either went to sleep right in here, I'm not sure, but I also had something wrong with the front end of my car. It was pulling to one side kind of deal. But anyways, I went to sleep and I woke up and drove into that pole right there. That's the pole. You can get out and show them.
Yep.
She's going to show you.
So this is the mark that his car left.
So anyways, I hit the pole, and I remember I remember waking up when I come into that ditch. When I come into that ditch, I guess the jar of it, I'm not sure, but when I come into that ditch, I realized I was there, and I was thinking I was too far in the ditch. I do remember all of this going through my head, that I was too far in the ditch, so I was already to the right of the pole. So I tried to miss it more and try to drive around the pole, and that's why I hit the pole. I actually hit the pole on my left side of my car, the driver's side. So it hit right at the front light, the driver's light, and come down the side and broke the dash apart and kind of come in on me. So we'll show you some pictures here. From that point, I went from here. I had a guy pull me out of the car, and for that I am grateful.
He was actually trapped in the car, and the guy had to pry the top part of his door down, and you'll be able to see that in the pictures. And he kind of pulled him out of the top side,
but it wasn't like an crazy over effort. It was just, he was able to break it apart, really.
Yeah.
The window was already
And
busted.
technically we know that you're not supposed to pull someone out of a car when they've been in an accident, but the guy told us that Jared kept asking for him.
Yeah, he asked me if I wanted to pull him out, and I told him yes.
Yes, he said, "Get me out of this thing." So
Totally sounds like me. So he gets me out of it. The ambulance comes, immediately starts doing the basic trauma stuff to me, x-rays, etc.
complete body scans to check for, internal bleeding and all those types of things.
From that point, the emergency room doctor, of course, determined I was either going to have to go to Richmond to, what's that hospital?
Reed.
was going to have to go to Richmond to Reed. And if Reed wouldn't accept me, then I would have to go somewhere else.
And
So-
Reed would not accept him because the surgeon there was not comfortable with the severity of Jared's broken arm. So he got transported by ambulance to Methodist. And so, as he said, it was just a typical morning, and it was the same for me. I was getting the girls off to school, and at that point, Mackenzie and Mallory had already gotten on the bus, and I was getting Milena ready. We have a good friend of ours that lives right down the road from us, and he works for
the fire department.
the fire department.
He's a volunteer for the fire
Yeah. Jared was aware enough to be able to tell them to call our friend Dave, because he knew that they knew Dave, and to tell Dave to call me, or to tell his wife to call me. And so instead of calling me, which I'm sure she came to my house just to be there, like morally support me, and I really appreciate that. So she came out to the house, and that morning Milena had actually fallen asleep with gum in her mouth and had gum in her hair. So I was sitting there getting gum out of Milena's hair when she knocked on the door, and I didn't hear her knock on the door. So she kind of opened the door, and she was like, "Hello," and I'm like, who is in my house at 7:30 in the morning? So I get up off the couch and I go into the kitchen, and she says, "Have you talked to Jared this morning?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "He's been in a car accident." And like immediately my heart dropped, and I'm like, "Okay." And the first words I think that came out of my mouth is he okay?" And she said, "Pretty for sure that he has a broken arm, he has a cut on his head, and possibly something wrong with one of his legs." And so I was like, "Okay, where is he at?" She said, "He's in the ambulance on the way to the hospital." So I immediately called him, and he answered the phone in the ambulance, but he just basically answered and then gave the phone to the paramedics. And the paramedics told me that they were on the way to our local hospital, and basically told me the same thing that Crystal told me. And she asked me if there was anything I needed her to do, so I had her go ahead and take Milena to school. That way I could just go to immediately to the hospital. And my sister-in-law met me at the hospital, and she took our youngest daughter, and kind of stayed there until we made for sure that, Jared didn't have any internal bleeding or anything like that. So they determined that he needed to be transferred, because he was going to definitely have to have surgery on his elbow, because it was broken, fractured, and dislocated. And then he also had to have staples in his head. And so thankfully he didn't have any internal bleeding, and for the end diagnosis was a fractured left knee, a broken, dislocated, and fractured left elbow, and 6 staples in his head. And we will go into some more detail about things that kind of happened, after they transported him later on today. But that is why we're on our way to the hospital for him to have surgery. So we have arrived at the hospital where Jared will be having his surgery today. Are you nervous yet?
No.
He's not nervous, but I am super nervous.
You know what I am, though?
What?
I'm starving and I'm thirsty.
He hasn't had anything since he had dinner. Basically, since we had dinner yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was on the
McDonald's.
road. Here we go, guys.
You remember having Paul me around in a wheelchair in this place?
Yes, I do. So after Jared had his surgery, we spent 2 2 days in the hospital, I think, or maybe 3.
I think it was 3.
He was in a wheelchair for 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. And that was funny. And we will insert a short clip. Your mom's recording.
I thought a snowstorm was good in the middle of winter.
Jesus. Need help?
Good foot up. Bad foot.
You look like an old man.
Gosh! I'm trying to survive here. Y'all are picking on me. Not funny.
Woo! Oh, Lord.
I made it.
Yay!
Hallelujah.
But I basically had to push him around in a wheelchair in the wintertime with snow on ice on the ground. So it was a crazy experience, but I am just thankful that he's alive.
This is sweet. I love you too, babe.
Breath, fever, chills, muscle pains.
Are you nervous yet?
No.
You guys, these masks drive me insane.
Itchy. This one's kind of itchy.
It's really stiff, and it's making my glasses fog up because I can't put it all over my nose because I can't breathe. It's crazy. Hello? Hello?
Where you at?
On 86th Street at Office Depot.
Oh, okay. Going to look for chairs.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm super bummed. That's ridiculous.
It's all right, babe.
So what are they doing?
They just got my arm all, got me marked up and got me an IV and checked in and got me changed, and now I'm just sitting on the bed waiting for them to come and clean my arm.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
I love you.
I love you too.
Bye.
Bye. So, I took Jared into the surgery center. Well, he took himself into the surgery center, but we went into the surgery center, and they checked him in, and they basically said, your surgery's at 1:30. It will take an hour. You'll be in recovery for an hour, and no one can go back with you. So they gave me instructions to find something to do for the next 4 hours, because he had to be there at 11:30 to check in and do all the surgery prep and everything. So I'm super bummed. We knew that I was allowed to come with him, but we didn't know that I wouldn't be able to come into the recovery room or anything like that until yesterday. So it really stinks, and I don't like it at all. But I get it. I understand somewhat. So I am going to go shopping, I guess. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Bye. Okay. So that was the nurse letting me know that Jared is in recovery. The doctor was supposed to call me and let me know, but he did not. So she said it's 3:42, about 10 after 4. He should be ready to go. So we'll be heading home here shortly. But I just wanted to say a few more things about Jared's accident. Like I said earlier, Jared was in a wheelchair, couldn't walk at all, and putting any weight on his leg because they wanted that leg to heal on its own. So then he had an arm brace for about 6 weeks where he couldn't move his arm at all either. And after that, he could just move his arm with simple motion, so up and down, and then like fully extension of his arm. And then after that, he started some pretty intense therapy for his leg and his arm. And he was off work from December to March. December is Christmas. And I just want to say thank you to all of our friends, all of our family, and all of our church family for everything that you guys did for us during that time. We are so grateful, even to this day. Our girls had one of the biggest Christmases they've ever had because of all of our friends and our family and our church family. And the whole entire time that Jared was off, the Lord used our friends and our family and our church family to help us, and He met every single need during that time. And we're so thankful for that. We're so thankful for all the miracles God did for us during that time. And we're so thankful that He spared Jared's life. And we could never, ever thank all of you enough. And I'm not going to name out names, but I will call out one name. My mother-in-law flew to Indiana that day. And she helped us so much during that time. Whatever I needed, she was there. Like, she helped with the girls so we could go, back to Jared's appointments and stuff. And if it hadn't been for her, I don't know what I would have done. It was hard to take care of Jared. He had medicines that he was on around the clock, and just bathing him and helping him get from one place to the other. And I'm not complaining at all. I will do it a million times over and over again if I have to. But having her there to help us was a huge help, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm fixing to head back to the hospital garage to pick up Jared, and we will be heading home. Yes. Okay. Okay, now he is out of surgery, and we're headed home. And he said that it hurts really bad. But hopefully the pain medicine will kick in and he will be feeling a lot better. Alright guys, we're heading home. We made it home.
Kind of woozy.
So Jared's gonna go inside and he's going to probably sleep for the rest of the night.
Yes.
So that's gonna be the end of our vlog for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed. We've taken off the dressing and we're not gonna take this off. We're not supposed to, but it's itching him and he wanted me to clean it, so I'm cleaning off the dried blood on the front side. And we're just gonna wrap it back up, but the cut is as big as his original cut, which is pretty big. There's a little blood there.
I want to try.
Arm's been itching. loving his